locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Rasslin.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Ten. Perfect 10.
I think even Ty Dillinger,
that's right,
would give you a 3.2 at best on that one.
Give me a break. That's a 10.
You would
bro.
not have done well at the Olympics.
Well, I'm pretty sure I would actually. If it was like a slam dunk contest, that's all 10s.
Yeah, I think you do good at running because you're always running away from your imaginary nemesis that you have in the wrestling world.
Everybody knows.
Oh boy.
Like that no good Micah Madrid.
Oh, here we go.
The former Texas Women's champion, and she's the former because she played games with the Duke and she lost the championship. And she has a match coming up this Sunday, actually, with Alexa, a.k.a. Sugar.
Right? Do we know which one is Sugar and Spice?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So Alexa's Sugar, Brianna is Spice. But Alexa, she's part of Duke's dynasty, and she is going to beat an apology out of Micah Madrid.
You know, it's funny. You should have, if you're going to do Duke's Dynasty, you should need to wear the big 10-gallon hat like J.R. Ewing. You need the suit and the big 10-gallon hat.
I got a whole crew, brother. I got a whole crew muscled up, badass women. Rudy
would give you an arm bar so fast if you showed up in Texas with that hat on.
Listen,
I'd pay to see that.
I have Sugar and Spice.
Yeah.
I have Simply Luscious.
No. In your dreams.
April Hunter.
In your dreams.
Okay, I got all these women.
In your dreams.
Tex Green. I got all these women who got my back.
Listen.
Duke's Dynasty.
I would not even, without her knowing or without her blessing, don't mention Tex Green. She is going to take you out.
She said she'll defend my honor on this show. She said she will defend my honor. And I want you to know,
I hope she knows how much work that's going to be.
It's a lot of work.
Boy, I don't know if she knows what she's getting into here.
Welcome back to Duke Loves Rasslin. I am the Duke, and yes, I do enjoy doing pro wrestling impersonations. I'm going to keep on doing them no matter what my illustrious co-host, the Boston bad boy, Iron Mike Pelosi, says.
Oh, just, another week. Week of this. Another week of this sitting across from you, listening to you babble on about these people who I don't think you have some kind of interaction with.
I got my crew
I'm living a real life, and you're not. That's just what it is.
Don't be jealous. Speaking of jealous, I know that you're going to be excited about this.
Yeah.
Okay? We have the former National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the legend, Wildfire Tommy Rich.
All right.
Okay? He's coming on. And let me tell you something. You better strap yourself in, man, because this guy is serious business.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. From what it sounds like.
Yeah, Tommy, he's a lot of fun.
This is going to be a ride.
Well, he's awesome, man. He's got some things going on that he's going to let the fans know about. This is a highly anticipated interview, so I really can't wait for that.
Yeah.
We also have the top 5 stories in the world of professional wrestling, a.k.a. Run the Ropes. All of that, plus more of your listener-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke. But before we get to any of that, Boston Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Some serious stuff going on with this whole Alberto, El Patron, and Paige.
Yes.
So let me...
Yeah, could you... there's a lot of twists and turns.
There's a lot of twists and
there's
turns.
A lot of... In the social media world, there's a lot pouring out. I can't keep up.
No, it's tough.
And then you're posting, I don't know. Yeah. Please, fill me in.
Well, because, even as we sit here and record, there's more information coming out and just nonsense. Let me start from the beginning here, folks, because, here at Duke Loves Rasslin, we want to get it right, okay? And we've been very serious and deliberate about getting it right. I even had April Hunter come on, which she's a friend of the family of Paige, and she was able to speak to what's going on and what have you, because we want to get it right.
Well, and I thought that talking to her was great because she didn't go out of her way to tip a scale or to... No. We just talk about the issue.
Yep.
That's the issue being that this is a bad situation.
Bad situation. So we know that Paige, who's like 23, 24 years old.
She's young.
She's in a relationship with Alberto El Patron, former Alberto Del Rio. Man's in his 40s. And a lot of folks have criticized that relationship because of the huge gap in age.
How old is he?
He's got like 40? 20 years on her. Man.
Yeah, okay.
Which
it is what
it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. They're adults.
40's the new 30, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what Jay-Z said. So they're adults. Now, that alone is one thing, okay? And her family has spoken out. One minute they like Alberto, the next minute he's no good because he's too old for her.
Yeah, that was the development this week. There was a lot. The family had started.
But that had been going on back and forth. Because they actually did business with him too, which is interesting. But anyway, you know that the sex tape and the photos came out of Paige. It was leaked. Alberto wants to beat the heck out of everybody. WWE has been a little insensitive, according to Alberto, which some folks on the roster have made fun of the whole sex tape thing.
That's right. We've discussed that.
It is what it is. So Alberto threatens, and we talked about it last week on the show, he threatened to beat up the big-nosed person, which he's talking about Triple H, and all of New Day, because they're coming to Texas, which is where his restaurant is.
Right.
He said that last week. Well, it comes out, folks, that there was a domestic incident at the airport in Orlando.
Okay.
Involving Alberto.
Okay.
So that's what we knew. That was a fact. The police are investigating a domestic violence incident at the Orlando airport involving Alberto. So everyone starts speculating, well, it must be Paige. It came out that Paige was actually traveling with him. So now that became a little more plausible that she was involved somehow. Paige goes on Twitter, and she says that a fan was messing with them and threw a drink on Alberto. And as a result of that, Paige called the cops on the fan because the fan wouldn't leave them alone.
Now, isn't this a similar story to something before that people were messing with him?
Yeah, according to them, some guy was messing with Paige, and Alberto defended her honor, and the guy ended up stabbing Alberto in the arm and all this other stuff because he had a bunch of knife marks on his arm. So there's a lot of that goes on. Alberto beat up a wrestler before who said something to Paige. I think he said something polite, actually, and Alberto took it the wrong way, beat the guy up. There's a lot of that going on.
A lot of that. Saying it's a fan or a third party.
Always a third party, which take that for whatever it's worth. So, TMZ. This broke just wrestling news sites, folks. This went to TMZ, which now we're getting into the mainstream. TMZ comes out with an audio recording that someone sent them. And in the audio recording, you can hear Paige screaming at Alberto, get away from me. I've been trying to get away from you. You follow me everywhere. Why can't you just leave me alone? All of that stuff going on. And Alberto saying, somebody call the police on this woman. She's assaulted me. And you assaulted me. Talking to Paige. So there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you have two people argue with each other in public and somebody calls the cops, that could be considered a domestic incident.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Domestic doesn't always necessarily mean that people are physically harming each other.
That's right.
But allegedly, somebody said that there was some physical altercation between two parties, and one of the parties being Alberto. So there's a lot of stuff going back and forth online. Once the audio recording came out, though, the company that Alberto works for, because he's no longer with the WWE, folks. He is the champion of Global Force Wrestling, which was TNA and Impact Wrestling. Now they're Global Force Wrestling. He's their champion. Alberto was suspended by Global Force Wrestling, which is very strange to suspend your champion. But, that's what happened. Paige is technically still under contract with the WWE, although she still hasn't been cleared to wrestle. And technically speaking, she has to serve her, I think it's a 90-day suspension. Now, no one's been arrested. It's still an investigation happening right now.
Right.
So there are no facts beyond that. The police are still looking into things. But Alberto is suspended from his employer, and that's where it is right now.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of, like you said, the coverage of this has been tremendous.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of
round the clock.
It's the latest in a very long, disturbing saga.
Well, it gets worse because the family accuses Alberto, Paige's family, like her brother, accuses Alberto of abusing his sister.
Right.
He put it out there on Facebook.
Right. Yeah, it's there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Families are involved. If you're with somebody, your family knows, your friends know each other. So there's this whole thing. And that's an interesting facet of domestic violence as its own thing. That
Sure.
it's not just the two people or whatever it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of people affected.
There's a lot of people affected. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of stigma. There's a stigma with it, and the WWE, like as you said, she's still under contract,
Technically,
serving
she is.
a suspension.
Well, I don't even know if her suspension has even kicked in yet.
Oh, right.
She's still technically not cleared to wrestle yet
For
because of a neck injury.
injury.
I think once she gets cleared, she may have to serve the suspension.
Well, this is looking ahead a little bit, but once the investigation is concluded and facts come out, let's say facts show that Paige was sort of the aggressor in one or several or whatever of the in some way in this whole drama. They have a zero tolerance policy for drug abuse, as we know, because that's her probation that we don't know if she served yet. Does that extend, as it does in other pro endeavors, to domestic violence?
Yes.
For the WWE?
Yes, good question. WWE just fired, what was his name? Adam Rose.
Okay.
For domestic violence. He actually got arrested, though.
Okay.
Got arrested, had to go before the judge.
So the WWE is obviously going to wait for the facts to come out.
Sure.
And you think they will handle that in a similar way?
I think if anyone gets arrested for domestic violence, although Jerry the King Lawler and his girlfriend, I don't think she's his wife, his girlfriend, they both got arrested for a domestic incident. Mm-hmm. And the WWE suspended him initially, but then brought him back because the facts proved that it was she who was abusing him.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's the thing, but waiting for the facts to play out.
If you get arrested, you can expect to be suspended from the WWE.
And I think that's the least they can do.
Yeah.
It's about equity, and it's about, again, domestic violence being such a complex issue.
Sure.
That you have to know that if there are consequences, and the consequences can't just be the police. The consequences can't just be your partner leaves you. The consequences have to be that in society, you can't function like that. And companies need to take away someone's functionality if they do that. I mean, think about it. If you're a truck driver with a CDL and you get caught drunk driving, your CDL license taken away.
Yeah, they take that
You're
away.
not allowed to do business.
Of course.
Because it's not allowed, and it's not something that someone wants to go down that road with. And I think that that zero tolerance policy does need to extend. Waits to be seen with this initial on his end, what these folks are up to.
Yeah, they may have, Global Force either has some information that no one else has, or they jumped the gun. Because I can already see a situation where if this guy is exonerated, because he hasn't been charged with anything. So if it just comes out that there are no charges and there's nothing for him there, he can sue them.
Yeah,
for what they did there.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, who knows what his contract says? And maybe there's something in there that speaks to that.
Sure,
but if you're Global Force Wrestling,
yep.
Are you potentially wrongfully looking at a stigma that society has?
It's a good question.
Are you having a gut reaction based on that alone and not the facts that, well, he's got to be the aggressor. Is that what's going on?
Maybe they feel that it's worth jumping the gun.
And here's the thing, right? Based on history, and based on what the public knows through snippets of whatever. But the thing is, if he is exonerated, if he's liable for some of this, he deserves what the law has for him. If he's exonerated, he deserves to get his money back or whatever, because you can't go around doing that. You can't go around just going on half known truths and a lot of stigma from again an incredibly complex issue.
Sure. And you know what, folks, look. We've been very clear about the fact that we just want people to get help.
That's right.
Domestic violence, neither one of us support that nonsense there. It's the biggest crime happening in America today.
That's right.
Bar none, which is just scary. We hope everyone is safe and okay. Hope it's not true. But if it is true, whomever is the aggressor, we hope that the law deals with them And whoever is the victim, we hope that they receive the support that they need. And if none of that's going on, like the Boston Bad Boys say, we just hope that that all gets sorted out properly.
Yeah, and the one thing that, and we had this discussion, I think last week or the week before, with the WWE chiming in with their little rap battle act.
Yep.
It really doesn't do much. They should know, and they probably do because they know these people better than we do, that this is a serious issue.
Of course.
They should know that it doesn't need that. It doesn't need a publicity stunt on the back of something that, whether it doesn't matter what you think what these two people are going through. You may hate them. You may say that they're just jerks and whatever.
Or love them.
Yeah,
sure.
right. But this is a serious situation.
It is.
It's a real situation.
It is.
It's not an act. This is not, and for the WWE to try and capitalize on that is wrong in using that rap battle bit to try and throw a little dagger into a situation.
You're going back to trying to blame the company. I'm not so sure that that's fair.
Well, no, I'm not. Listen, you know what? I'll only blame the company if they don't extend their policy where their policy potentially fits, and their policy being, they're going to take care of house if and when the time comes.
Yep.
Because right now they are not showing that because they know what's been going on with this girl and with him, and they know that this situation is real. They know it's real, but once again, they treat it lightly, like they've treated bullying issues recently.
All right.
And everything else.
All right.
So here's my hope. Again, with you, I hope this is nothing. I hope these people are fine. I hope they get better if there's a problem. But I also hope the WWE doesn't forsake a real issue that's facing a lot of people by trying to make a buck and ignoring it.
I don't believe that they'll do that, and I think that
it still stands to be seen because they've made some poor, classless choices in the fairly recent past when it comes to serious issues of mental health and now sort of throwing gasoline on a fire of domestic violence.
Vince McMahon, just know that I don't believe that.
You have no words to defend it. So Vince
I'm
McMahon,
just not gonna put up with that.
Vince knows where he's at.
All right, and with that said, run the ropes. It's time to run the ropes. I give my opinion on the top 5 stories in the world of professional wrestling. Let's go. Austin Aries no longer with WWE. Yes, folks, as seen on WWE.com and covered on the Duke Loves Rasslin Facebook page, Austin Aries has officially been released from his WWE contract. Now, Aries wasn't happy with the way he was being utilized by the company and allegedly feels he would do better on his own on the indie scene. I'll say this much. Aries is very good in the ring, and I believe he actually would make a great coach/trainer, but there are folks that are just younger, faster, stronger. WWE has talents at their disposal who they don't have to pay much money for, and hey, keeping Austin Aries happy is probably not their priority.
You know what's interesting? There are probably podcast hosts that are younger, faster, stronger than you, and maybe keeping you happy around here isn't worth it for me.
Watch your mouth. AJ Styles win the U.S. Championship. Yes, folks, as seen on the Duke Loves Rasslin Facebook page, AJ Styles stunned the wrestling world by defeating Kevin Owens for the U.S. Championship. Now, why was everyone stunned? Because it wasn't televised. I mean, this event happened at Madison Square Garden, and it was a brilliant piece of marketing by the WWE, okay? It shows anything can happen at a live event, and that's why you must show up. Now, get this. AJ went on SmackDown this week and announced that he's going to do his own version of the U.S. Open Challenge. So that means that anyone who wants to come and challenge him for the U.S. title, step right up. This is going to be exciting. We're going to get to see AJ Styles wrestle every week on SmackDown, defending the United States Championship, and he's going to elevate the significance of the title.
Is he going to elevate it, or is SmackDown going to drag him down?
He's AJ Styles.
I'm just saying.
Elevate.
The television product is not what it used to be.
Elevation.
Yeah, you too.
Dixie Carter appears on WWE programming. Yeah, some say hell is finally frozen over. As former TNA president Dixie Carter, she appeared on a WWE Network documentary about Kurt Angle. Now, this was shocking because this is the first time ever WWE has officially acknowledged the existence of TNA. Now, mind you, that's easy to do considering TNA no longer exists. I mean, they changed their name to Impact, and now it's Global Force Wrestling, and Dixie Carter was pushed out officially, so she has no ties to this new company over there. Nonetheless, it was cool to see Dixie be able to talk in such a high-profile situation. Okay? Will this be the last time we see Dixie Carter doing business with WWE? Stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated.
I always think of the actress Dixie Carter every time you start talking about it, and it's funny because that's who I picture in these wrestling conversations.
Oh, well, this Dixie Carter, she doesn't look like the other Dixie Carter. She's very nice. Alberto El Patron investigated. Yes, folks, as reported on TMZ and as discussed a little earlier in the show, Alberto is being investigated for alleged domestic assault on Paige. This happened in an airport in Orlando, and at least one witness recorded audio of the situation, a portion of the situation, I should say. I don't know how this is going to play out, but I just hope that whatever the truth is, it comes out, and however it needs to be dealt with, it's dealt with in a legal and fair manner. Because, once again, domestic violence is not something that we play around with, folks. We don't condone it, don't like it, and seriously, if everyone's innocent, great. If anyone is guilty, take care of it. Authorities, please. And most of all, we hope everyone remains safe.
Can I just say that the actress Dixie Carter actually passed away in 2010?
Oh,
so just a little factoid there. Yeah, married to Hal Holbrook, by the way.
Oh,
the great. Did you?
I haven't heard that name in years.
I know.
Jeez,
Bud, when you look into the abyss, you gotta see what's from Wall Street.
I'm just shaking my head at you right now.
That's one of the greatest lines in the movie. When you look into the abyss, you gotta ask yourself, what's looking back?
The number one story in the world of professional wrestling is WWE Great Balls of Fire was a huge success. That's right. Over the weekend, and let me tell you something, all over the internet, folks, everyone has been clamoring about WWE Great Balls of Fire. It was a great event. Okay, we saw Alexa Bliss retain her women's championship. She actually got herself counted out. Before that, it was a great match with Sasha Banks. But the count out, I was a little, not too happy about that. But it was still a good match. Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe did not disappoint. They beat the heck out of each other. I was very surprised to see Joe be allowed to get as much offense on Brock as he did. It was great. But in the end, Brock retained his title. But the talk of the town was Roman Reigns being a sore loser.
No, please.
Okay?
Here we go.
After Braun Strowman defeated him in the ambulance match,
I don't want to hear it.
Roman Reigns took the precious life of Braun Strowman and put it in significant danger when he threw him in the ambulance and then proceeded to back the ambulance up into a wall. Okay?
I'd like to back you up into a wall before I hear more of this nonsense from you.
Poor Braun Strowman. He was lucky enough to walk out because he has angels around him, by the way. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm not happy with Roman Reigns.
Oh, well, there's a surprise.
This act that he pulled off, it was probably criminal.
It's an act, right?
It was probably criminal.
Yeah, it's an act.
But
it's part of
anyway,
the act.
Listen, Braun Strowman, get well. And Roman Reigns, we're not through with you yet.
By the way, Jerry Lee Lewis, still alive.
Oh, look at that.
Still alive. He's 81 years old.
Did not know that.
I think he's still touring, too.
Wow.
But there's another little factoid.
Good.
We're speaking of TMZ, cutting edge, edge news.
Breaking
Jerry
news.
Lee Lewis,
Yeah,
still alive.
You've heard what I think. Now, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm a jerk? Maybe something in between? Are you sick of the Boston bad boy and his factoids?
It's not possible.
Head over to Twitter.
Possible.
Head over to Facebook. Type in Duke Loves Rasslin. Let me know. Up next, the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. We're talking about Wildfire Tommy Rich.
All right, this is the Maverick from NWL, also known as Moonshine Mantell, and you're listening to Duke Loves Rasslin.
What's up, dude?
What's going on, Wildfire?
Not much. You doing all right?
Oh, another day in paradise, brother.
Yeah, I'm in Myrtle Beach. It's really paradise.
That's right. Tommy, fans all over the world love and appreciate you today as much as they did back in the 70s and 80s. So please, let everyone know what Wildfire Tommy Rich has been up to in 2017.
Well, first off, Duke, I want to thank you and Mike for having me on your show, man. And I love y'all, and I love all them wrestling fans out there because I've got to live a dream, like you said, for 40 years, man. And it's kind of wild right now because I'm going through another transgression in my life that it's a big change for me. You know, I first started in Nashville, Tennessee. That was the first chapter. Then I moved to Georgia and got my break. That was the second. But now then, I'm down in Myrtle Beach, man. I'm in the process of moving my wife and grandson, and we down here just kicking it, man. Everybody comes to Myrtle Beach to retire, but Wildfire's come down here to open a wrestling school. We're having the grand opening August the 5th and 6th, and got two great wrestlers and two great friends coming down. Mr. USA Tony Atlas and the Universal Heartthrob. People say, how did you get them? And you said something earlier that made me think about it. I mean, I never asked nobody for nothing. There's a lot of folks out there that love some Tommy Rich, and I just all the love's back at them. And I want to thank everybody, man, because it's just the response has been so great. We're going to be there from on the 5th. We'll be from 12 to 4, and it's free admission. It's a grand opening meet and greet, but it's free to the public. You get a free 8x10, and I'm sure Tony and them the hardcore fans will have some T-shirts or something. If you want to buy one of them, they'll be available. But the bottom line is this is the fans to come down and meet us and see what we're about. We're in a 200,000 square foot gym. I mean, that's big. It's huge. It's got a soccer field. It's got two basketball courts. It's got tanning beds, nail salon. It's got martial arts. It's got a dance academy. It's a sports complex called the X Gym, and it's located at 568 George Bishop Parkway, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 29579. And as old Freddie Miller would say, folks, August the 5th and 6th, don't miss it, be there.
Wow, that is awesome, huh?
That is a promo.
That
right. is an old school promo.
That's how you do it, son.
That's exactly right.
I'm telling you. Folks, we're talking to Wildfire Tommy Rich, like we said here. He's opening up his wrestling school down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Listen, Tommy, let's go back for a second here, okay?
Yes,
Let's go back to 1981, where you took on the Hall of Famer Harley Race for the National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Championship. And let me tell you something. You took it to him. You ended up winning the championship, and fans from all over the world cried in jubilation. Talk to us about that moment and what that meant to you back then.
When I broke into Tennessee, man, I mean, I was an 18-year-old kid in the man's world, and I tell everybody, and I'm still blessed today, that these guys took the interest in, and Harley was a big factor in my career too, because it was Harley, you know, that the kid needs a belt, you know, and Harley helped me in so many ways, and I know his health's not real well right now, and just I'd like to give him a shout out, and everybody say a prayer for Harley because he's one of the great ones that's lived. That's right. Shout out to the king of wrestling, Harley Race, and legitimately one of the toughest men to ever lace up the boots, right? Yes, and that's what I mean. You know, them guys could have beat me to death, but that was all business, and not only did they do what was asked, but they all helped me a long way, man. There ain't no dancing in the wrestling business today. That's right. You know, I mean, I had a different dance every night, you know, and it was a blessing, man. It was great, and I soaked up. I might have been a wild child, but I sure soaked up a lot of knowledge from them folks. I hear that. When you won that that NWA World Heavyweight Championship, were you ready to be the top guy? As far as working wise, maybe, but you know, I mean, that's a hard job, man. And I was a 21-year-old kid, you know, the youngest I've ever been there, and. It's a lot. I don't know that I could even done the schedule Harley and Ric Flair did, you know, town to town, and having to keep up with that belt and all of that, you know. I mean, and that's a job in itself. And then you hit the town, and most nights they go 45 to a minute, hour Broadway every night. You know, I mean, it wasn't. a lot of respect for the Funks and Briscoes and all them guys, man. Because back then, I mean, you went out there and worked, you know, and it just, I look at it, and it was a blessing and a curse at the same time. You know, it wasn't my choice anyway, but at the same time, I understood, you know. So it was a blessing, you know. I mean, and I've just had so many guys help me, and you know.
Well, it's interesting too, because the winning the championship was the icing on the cake, so to speak. But you actually had a huge feud that everyone still talks about to this day. Okay, we're talking about your feud with Maddog Buzz Sawyer, and in fact, this culminated in the last battle in Atlanta. This is the cage match that they actually lost the footage, and the footage went missing for decades. And it wasn't until recently that the WWE, actually last year, they put it out on the WWE network. It was the first time people got to see it in almost 30 years, and it was the most brutal match ever.
Don't tell nobody. I had that copy all these years. I just needed to revamp myself. So I let it slip out.
He was waiting for Vince to write an appropriate check.
That's right.
To get him that footage.
Right.
Yeah, I knew Vince had put it on there and revived me.
What was it about that match, Tommy? Because seriously, that's considered one of the most brutal matches, if not the most brutal match of all time. What was it about that match and that feud, that 2-year feud with Buzz, that made it so special?
It was brutal to me every night for 2 years. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, and I couldn't get away from him in that cage. It was a little more brutal, I reckon. Yeah, no, but you know, it's just so many milestones in this business, and I'm so blessed for it. You know, I mean, like that. That's where the Hell in a Cell come from. It was a raggedy looking one, ours was, but it was the first time done. You know, and then we wrestled for 30 minutes in that cage, and I mean, beat each other up. It was the last time he was going to get to beat me up, and I wasn't going to let him beat me up no worse than I could beat him up.
That's right. That's right. And like you said, that was the precursor to what the WWE does today, the Hell in a Cell cage match. What Tommy Rich and Buzz Sawyer did, man, that was it right there.
Now, I want to ask you, Tommy, when you're in a match like that, you know, you guys are working in a different system back then. It's different than the modern style right now. And you do something, they say, all right, we're going to lock you in the cage, and you guys who obviously aren't getting along are just going to go at it and create a spectacle. Do you know when someone proposes something like that to you that, boy, this is going to be different, this is going to be perhaps history being made here?
No, you know, it's down there again. I just loved what I did, man. And see, that was the art of the business back then. Bullet Bob Armstrong said it the best. Back then, it was Shakespeare and vaudeville. I mean, we had lived, you know, and so it's kind of like a magic trick, man. You know, when you know how they do the magic, then you don't care about going. But we had the magic back then. It was hot. Wrestling was hot. And, you know, I had them tell me, if you miss a punch, I'll beat the hell out of you.
Oh.
If you go for a punch, you either knock the daylights out of them, or you're going to get the daylights knocked out of you. So, I mean, it's a different horse. I mean, the choreograph, and if I had to do what they do today, I mean, from beginning to end, high spot, I wouldn't even be in this business. I mean, I was blessed to where you had an opening, a heat spot, and then you end. And the rest, I mean, you sold to them people, and what they buy in Augusta, Georgia tonight, they might not buy the next night in Macon, Georgia. So he's wrestling the same guy, and when they're doing the same stuff choreographed, and they're not buying it, they don't know what to do.
Got to mix it up.
You flip them over, grab a headlock. Yeah, you know, I know what to do.
Well, I'm curious. So, you know, you're moving into becoming into the training world, and so compared to back then, what you guys were doing, do you think wrestling now is too tight? Do you think it's too tight? Do you think it's gone maybe a little too far into, like what you were just saying, where it's losing a bit of the magic because they're not able to ad-lib as much, they're not able to play off the crowd as much?
Well, you know, it's funny you should ask that, because I got an answer for you.
Uh-oh.
No, but you know, back when Vince, you know, when the territories were dying and Vince come out and said it was sports entertainment, that made me madder than anything in the world. And you know, and at that time it did hurt because it killed the magic. But I think today wrestling's something that's survived since the gladiator days. They've been fighting around since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's MMA, there's boxing, and people just love wrestling. I mean, it's something you know. When we were doing it, I mean, not like Vince. I mean, he sells to the teen crowd, and that's fine and good because I couldn't afford to take my family to his show anyway. But anyway, but the good independents, by good independents, man, they do good and the people still want to believe. So I think it's a different crowd. What kills it, I told my wife, I said, man, I used to do what I call it, like Vince and TNA, probably the major league. Major league, and then the minor league is my good independents. And then you got that backyard stuff. You go in the dressing room, and there's one guy that's got a pair of wrestling boots, and one guy that's got a pair of wrestling tights. And the marquee says wrestling first off. So if you don't know how to wrestle, please damn sure make sure you look like a wrestler. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
We've been having a lot of talk about that. We've talked to a lot of people, trainers, young guys coming up, and there's a lot of talk happening that preparedness is infecting, or lack of preparedness is infecting the indies, and is also somehow creeping into the pros, if you could say the big guys, like you know the Vince McMahon run areas and things, where the training isn't there like it used to be, and the training and the respect for the sport, like having the right gear and everything, kind of go hand in hand. And there's a lot of young kids getting injured because they're not properly trained. What do you think about that, especially moving into the training and opening up your own place?
Well, they're getting it. I mean, it goes back now. I mean, ECW, look at them. They used to beat the daylights out of each other and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm telling you, Shakespeare's the way to go. And if you do Shakespeare, you go out there and dance. You got somebody you can dance with, and you go out there and work hard, and you come back and feel like you've had a good time. The people's had a good time if you had a good time. And you got to go out there and worry about what you're going to do and stuff. That's why you get hurt. You got to have there's no psychology no more, I don't think. They don't teach psychology because that's hard. Because, I mean, when you're choreographed, you don't need no psychology because you just do high spots. So what I want to bring back to the table, and we're going to be running wrestling shows right out of where we're at. But they've got a big facility where we seat up to 3,000, 4,000 people. And so this is going to be our home base where these guys that may not get opportunity, if they prove themselves in my school, and we're looking at doing maybe down the road. You know, it ain't going to be just one show a month. I mean, eventually, as we grow, we plan on running a Friday, Saturday, and hopefully can fill the weekend up with shows.
Oh, man.
Because it's all repetition. I mean, and that's my pipe dream. That's my pipe dream.
That's good stuff.
But it's all repetition. I mean, like, there's so many kids out there that have the hunger and the love and the heart for this business. I mean, there's probably 80% that won't ever get a chance, but that 20% that does deserve a chance, I mean, like when it was territories. Let's say I started in Tennessee and I got a little push there and worked hard, and I come to Georgia, I got a little better push, and then I stuck it out because I wasn't going to give up, and then I mean, they busted me wide open, And when it was territories, I mean, you might start. Chris, for example, my Bubba here, he might start in Tennessee and just get the hell beat out of him, but because he had that heart and didn't quit, they sent him to Georgia, and they'd use him a little bit better. By the time he got to Bob Geigels in Kansas City, he was ready to, semi and work on into some main events, And that's what they don't get. I mean, working 6 days a week and getting that repetition in, and as much as you teach them in the school, it's getting out in front of that crowd too, and realizing that's an adrenaline rush, and you got to know that. You got to respect it. You got to love it. I still love it today, man. And I like to go out there and perform. I'm not a main event man no more. I know that. But in some cases, I've seen where I've been better off going out in the main event.
That's what we call a hot take right there, Tommy. Oh my good. Listen, you brought up something interesting though. You were talking about the various territories that you wrestled in. You even brought up ECW. I know that you spent some good time in USWA. Lawler's territory there. Outside of the Georgia territory, what was your favorite territory to work in, and why?
I enjoyed. I just wasn't one of them. That's another reason. I wasn't one of them that wanted to travel all the time. I love Georgia. And then we had the opportunity, which we went up north and stuff. But see, in Tennessee, when I went back and we done the big angle with Lawler, I loved being a heel, and that was before TVs was overlapping and stuff. So I had the opportunity to go back to Tennessee and release some of that anger, But back then, and see, back then you had heroes and villains. Now then, today, bless John Cena's heart. He's been there and he's worked his butt off, and he is the man. But he's been there so long, and like 30% of the people don't like him. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's tough to be a babyface in today's market.
But the problem with that is you've got these heels that go out and sign autographs and stuff, and he just he can't sign everyone. They might have 100 or whatever want more, and he's got 1,000. And so he misses a few of his. Well, then people say, well, so-and-so over here, he signed that. Well, there wasn't 10 getting an autograph from him. John Cena had 2,000 over here. He can't sign them all. And so I think, if you had bad guys and good guys and no in-betweeners, it'd be a better business because people like good and evil.
That's the truth.
People like Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go,
that's
boss.
exactly it.
Go.
Listen, Tommy, you have a guy. I know you just mentioned Chris, and shout out to Chris over there. He's been doing a great job helping you out, getting the school getting ready to launch and what have you there. You have another guy by the name of Scotty, and Scotty runs Wrestler Weekly, which fans, you got to check out on Twitter and on Facebook, Wrestler Weekly, if you haven't already. It's one of my favorite accounts to follow. Scotty always puts up some great photos of wrestlers from the past. He puts up articles. But one thing that I like about Scotty is that for years, every single day, he talks about Wildfire Tommy Rich. And he constantly talks about you, and he constantly keeps you on people's mind. What does that make you feel like to know that you got a guy who you didn't even know from Adam, and every day he's making sure your name still lives on?
That's pretty doggone cool. I met Scotty at a couple of fan fests, and and that's where I met David Brown, the man that's making a lot of this possible.
Wow.
Or the man that is making it possible. Big shout out to Dave. Big shout out to Scotty. Because if it wasn't for them guys, it's and that's what's so cool. I never knew it was there. I'm kind of reclusive, and but they come to me with this opportunity, and I'm one of them. I'm that old habitat. I wasn't much up for moving, but I said, heck with it. You can't swim if you don't get your feet wet.
That's right.
and what was so cool about it, man, just everything's. Like we talked about it, it's been 6 months or something happened. We said, let's do it. It's just all felt, how do you get in the middle? Like at X Gym, where our gym's at. They've got a retired baseball player that teaches kids. It's the absolute package. You couldn't be in a better place. Tanning beds. I've got big expectations. And with the help I'm getting with folks like from you and Mike. It's good to know you still love me. I know all the fans love me. Thank y'all because I still love y'all. Still getting to live a dream, man.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Listen, Tommy, when you open the school and you start putting on your shows consistently, we're going to have you come back on the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast. Give us an update. Let us know what's going on, because I'm telling you, man, the fans, when I put it out there that you were going to be coming on the show, people went absolutely nuts because they still remember you spilled blood all over the country. Okay, and you set the world on fire, wildfire. So the fans still love you just as much today as they did before.
Well, thank you very much. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget, wrestling fans, Facebook fans, podcast fans, please don't forget the Tommy Wildfire Rich School of Wrestling grand opening, pre-admission, pre-8x10, and a meet and greet with the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, and myself, Tommy Wildfire Rich, at the X-Gym Sports Complex, 568 George Business Parkway, Myrtle Beach. Don't miss it. Be there.
Listen, when you have a professional on the line.
Oh, my God.
Okay?
We've talked to a lot of people.
Yeah.
We've talked to pros and non-pros with varying results, and that is pro. That is vaudeville. That is old school. That is learned, but also that is instinct. That man is a legend.
Listen, Wildfire Tommy Rich, there's a reason why he's still beloved from folks all over the world.
Well, you know, it's funny. He mentioned several times in talking about the business when he learned it and when he was that it was part Shakespeare. And it was funny. It's the first person I think we've had on that used that analogy.
It's true.
And it's an interesting analogy because Shakespeare, obviously everyone knows who Shakespeare is, hopefully. The Shakespearean plays are referenced as sort of high drama. That's sort of their thing, right? It's a lot of the villains and it's the good guys and the villains. It's very colorful. It's cartoonish in a way a lot of the times. And referencing that was very, and it brought to mind something, and compared to what people are doing now, right? That he said that sort of that Shakespeare is missing. That there's a lot of people learning the business, that they're doing a lot of choreography, and they're not sort of seeing what's behind it.
Absolutely.
And I was I was doing a nerdy thing. And I was watching on Netflix, there was a show, William Shatner interviewing the other captains of Star Trek. I was bored. I'm not going to defend it. And he was talking to Patrick Stewart, very well-known actor outside of Star Trek. And Patrick Stewart and his son. And Patrick Stewart's son's an actor. And he said, when I was getting into acting school, I had a great acting coach, meaning his dad. And he'd lock me in a room for 4 hours a day, and we'd practice when I was trying to get to audition for schools. And he goes, the one thing I remember is he was a tough coach because I would get 2 lines into my whatever it was I was reading, and he would say, think, you're not thinking, you're not thinking. You're reciting, you're not thinking.
And there's a big difference.
You're not interacting. So it's almost like with these younger wrestlers, it's interesting that they are reciting the moves. They're not thinking what's behind it. And it seemed that what Tommy missed was the ability to be loose in the ring because they knew guys like him could Shakespeare. They could act. They could push the drama along based on their talent. They could ad-lib.
Of course.
And they could project it. And that's what's missing. And I think he hit the nail right on the head with that.
Well, he said that, just because it worked in one city doesn't mean it's going to work in the next.
That's true.
Which is why you can't sit there and rehearse and do all this nonsense.
Who's your audience?
Of course.
Who's your audience?
You got to play to the audience.
And I think that in a way, the audience has changed a lot more maybe than the sport it has. And I think a guy like Vince might be, again, he's old. He's from the old school. He might be shooting at a different crowd now because the crowd isn't what it was 10 years ago or 30 years ago or whatever.
But you got to keep in mind, right now, they've made more money than they ever made before. And that's because of the network.
Money's money.
But if they don't continue to innovate, if they don't continue to check, you got to keep checking.
Well, evaluate,
Or you're going to fall behind.
Right. You have to see what's going on around you. Again, it goes that idea of being aware and thinking and being there goes right up to the top.
Yep.
It's not just in the ring. It's the whole management structure.
It's true. It's true.
That's right. You agree with me, which is the right thing to do.
Every now and then you'll get that out of me. It's fine. Folks, up next we have more of your listener-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke. I don't like the way this guy's laughing. But before we get to any of that, got to remind you, head over to Barnyard Cheese. That's right, Barnyard Cheese over in New York City. Boston Bad Boy, I discovered something new at Barnyard Cheese.
Was that the Boston Bad Boy knuckle sandwich?
That's never going to happen. I keep telling you it's never going to happen. You keep asking about it, and I don't understand it. Okay?
Well,
but
people want it. I don't know.
They got something interesting. They have a drink where you take ginger beer and mix it with lemonade.
Okay. I like that.
Ginginade, I think, is what they call it.
Ginginade.
Ginginade.
Well, sounds like ninja aid.
I don't know, but whatever it is,
ginger aid.
It's a lemonade with a punch.
I like that.
Okay,
I'm a fan of the ginger beer.
Yeah, me too.
I usually mix mine with a little rum.
Yeah, you're wearing your Gosling's.
That's
hat
right.
I see that.
I do.
Captain.
I do have that hat.
So.
But yeah, I am a fan of the ginger beer.
Same here.
And I've been drinking a lot of ginger beers. Well, usually the Goslings or the Barrett's is actually my favorite.
Barrett's is a good one.
Old school style.
I was going to say, that's English, isn't it?
It is. I believe it is. And I believe Barrett's is the original recipe for the dark and stormy.
Yep.
But anyway, some ginger beers I'm not liking. There's a lot of imitation, flat, or too sweet.
I was going to say
too sweet. I don't like it. Give me a nice sharp ginger beer and a little lemonade in there.
Well, the Ginginade, Barnyard Cheese. Maybe I'll take you during SummerSlam weekend. We'll go to Barnyard and get you a ginger.
Do I have to go with you, or can I just go by myself and enjoy it?
I'm your way in. They're not even going to let you in the door without the Duke.
Please.
Do you understand that?
Listen to me. Double D knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay?
He
And
knows. He has your face put up. Ban this guy.
No, that actually says give this man a free
Give me a
sandwich.
break. Give me a break. Well, folks, if you want to try refreshing ginger ale, stop depriving yourself of deliciousness. Head over to barnyardcheese.com. Grab some info. More importantly, head over live. Tell them the Duke sent you. Enjoy.
This is Dusty Wolf, and I invite all you wrestling fans to join me over here on Duke Loves Rasslin.
All right, Boston Bad Boy, what do you have today for Ask Duke?
Well, I was thinking about something, and, we usually do the questions at this time of the show.
That's right.
And usually the questions are awful, and usually we're talking about how awful our listeners are.
Don't disrespect the listeners, please. Don't do that.
Listen, they need to respect themselves, and then maybe the product, and by that I mean the questions they submit, will get a little bit better.
Unbelievable.
But what I was thinking about during this whole show is that you might have to change your name to Jerry Lee Lewis. You've been talking about this Great Balls of Fire thing.
Goodness gracious.
This pay-per-view.
That's right.
And as always, you've really taken the wrong stance on it. And I've seen it. I've been following your social media. You have clearly, and it's not just me this time, all the listeners who agree with me most of the time anyway, it's starting to show that you've picked the wrong side of things, and you will continue to.
Well, I think that a lot of people want to stick up for my arch nemesis, Roman Reigns, who is a piece of garbage. And you know what? I don't care. I will sit here and I'll stand. If I got to stand alone, I'll stand alone, and I'll fight them all.
It's funny because you're not going to fight them all,
And
but you're going to do
sue them
them
all.
one at a time.
And sue them all.
Because I went to an expert. I dug around, and I found somebody who I think is going to do really good in arguing this, because I really just don't have the interest in arguing it with you, but I know it's important.
You're not going to do this
But I would
again.
like, ladies and gentlemen of the listening audience, please welcome to the show the man from the extraordinary journey of a black nerd wrestling group. He is the guy that runs the show over there. I'm talking about Big Bear. Big Bear, welcome to the show, brother.
What's going on?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what's going on. What's going on is, once again, Duke has gone off the rails, and once again, I'm calling in a faithful member of our listening audience who is probably going to agree with me to fight my battle for me. So please, Big Bear, straighten him out, would you?
All right, what's going on? What can I do for you?
Well, listen, first of all, Big Bear, let me explain something to you. What you're not going to do is come on the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast and take the side of the Boston Bad Boy, especially when we're talking about that no-good Roman Reigns, okay? So just choose your words wisely, sir, because I'm going to let you know right now, I am not in the mood for it today, okay?
But what you're not going to do is tell me that I can't root for my boy Roman Reigns.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what you're not going to do.
Oh, my goodness. You sound like Haven Rain. You sound like Larry. You sound like all these fools out there.
Two other experts, by the way.
All these fools out there who keep defending this guy. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm very disappointed in all of you, okay? Because for you to sit there and defend a guy who can't wrestle, who can't talk,
What do you mean he can't wrestle?
He cannot wrestle.
He cannot talk.
He's terrible.
What are you talking about?
He's terrible. Okay? So the Golden Boy, who Vince McMahon keeps shoving down everybody's throats, that's why he gets booed out of the building. You're not going to come on here and defend him. Now, come on, Big Bear. Tell the truth.
Look here. He got the crowd. He got the moves. He got the talk. What are you missing? What are you missing? I mean, this guy...
He's missing a lot. Can I just say, he's missing a lot.
I'm not missing anything.
I don't want to interrupt you, but he's
missing
missing.
anything.
There's quite a few things he's missing. I'm writing a list right now, but keep going, Big Bear.
He is pure entertainment every time he steps into the arena. He is a magnet. Whether you want to boo him, whether you want to cheer him, I don't know why you want to boo him because you're on the wrong side of this, but let's see what he can do. The boy can wrestle. Yeah, everybody got their little 5 moves of doom or whatever, but however, he is just pure entertainment in the room. He can talk. Every time he opens his mouth, it's like the Vicky Guerrero effect. Every time he opens his mouth, somebody has to say something. Yay, boo, whatever. I just don't understand what you don't like about him.
Let me explain something to you.
What can he do?
Let me explain something to you. When you look at a specimen like Braun Strowman, all right, you're looking at a man
not Braun.
who is rough and tough and who can blow your house down, okay? That is a man. That is the future of this business. That's somebody you could set your watch to, Okay, Rolex
So,
time, not Mickey Mouse time.
A bootleg Big Show then.
Well, hold on. Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful.
So go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
no, please, hold on. Don't be disrespectful, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now, Big Bear. Don't be disrespectful to Big Show or Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is so much far and away better than Roman Reigns that he is the one getting all the cheers, while Roman Reigns gets the jeers, okay? So once again, don't come on this show defending the indefensible, okay?
You know, Big Bear, this is just Duke getting his back up against the wall.
I'm sick of this.
And you know what?
It's okay.
I'm sick of this.
No, do you know what it is, though?
I'm sick of it.
This is what it is, and this is what he's missing. You know why? Because he's not really a nerd, Big Bear. He doesn't understand that I'm assembling my own Justice League of listeners to set him straight.
Give me a
So
break.
what this is, he doesn't even see it coming yet. And like Lex Luthor, my master plan has not come together yet, and he won't see it until it's too late.
I'm sick of this.
It turns out that Roman Reigns is Duke's kryptonite. And it gets him all hot and bothered.
No, he's
gets
not.
him all hot and bothered. He likes to think he has a nemesis, but he doesn't. And it gets all look. He's steam coming out of his ears right now. If you could see it. But I've had enough. Go ahead.
I believe actually he likes Roman Reigns. He just don't want to tell you that.
Well, maybe that's true.
Yes.
Maybe it's a double cross.
That's true.
Maybe
You figured me out. You figured me out, Big Bear. Good job.
Yeah. Well,
Good
you
job.
know what?
You know what, Big Bear? You know what? I'm done with you. Okay. I'm done with
We
you.
haven't even started yet. What are you talking about?
I'm done with
We
you.
haven't even started. Come
Listen, let's not show our whole hand here, okay, Big Bear. I'm gonna cut this wrestling nerd. You guys nerding out talking about this because I don't really care about this pay-per-view, and I'm going to cut that short. Thank you for calling in.
Don't ever come back,
and we'll
Big
have
Bear.
you back on the
No,
show at
no,
some
he's
point
not
to
coming
straighten
back.
him out.
Anytime I want
He's
to.
not coming back.
Yeah.
No.
Don't worry
I'm
about
coming
it.
back anytime I want.
We got the numbers.
How about
We're
that?
good. Don't worry about what Duke says. But thank you so much for calling in, and we'll have you back soon.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, Duke. These are your people
Give me a
who
break.
you have disappointed so much.
No.
That you have disappointed so much
No.
that they
Look,
turned on you.
I don't bring Dingo on the show like I probably
please.
should.
Oh,
okay.
You know why? Because Dingo probably doesn't have a telephone to call
No,
in.
give me a.
He's
stop
probably
that.
using
Don't
telegraph
talk
machine.
about Dingo like that. He puts up with R.J.
He's probably not
Krasinski. He puts up with your nonsense, and the guy still remains classy.
You know
unlike
how-
this Big Bear.
Do you know how
character?
How insane Dingo is? His insanity actually probably created R.J. Krasinski. It's like another Superman
is
plot,
that what it
where
is?
it's like he was so insane that the universe corrected itself by making a hero like R.J. Krasinski to level out the insanity that is Dingo. I'm liking all these nerd references tonight. I think it's
Why
working
did you
well.
bring that no good Big Bear to come
Listen,
on this show tonight?
Like he said, like the other folks we've
talk
had
nonsense
on,
to me,
like
by the way.
Larry,
Nonsense.
like Haven Rain.
No.
These are people I'm Avengers
I'm
Assemble.
sick of it. I'm sick of it.
And you know why? Because the insanity. I'm worried about you.
No.
I'm worried about you.
No.
And it's starting to get
Worry
more
about
and more.
yourself.
No, but I'm worried about you because it's starting to tip. I think.
Worry about yourself.
I think we're going into uncharted
Just give us
territory.
the fan questions and
Well,
cut this nonsense out.
Nonsense.
All right.
Brother, and have I got a lot of material to crack on tonight?
Oh my!
Don't
Buddha.
you tell me what to do. First of all,
No, I want the questions this
No,
week.
there's no questions.
Not your guess, not your nonsense. I want the questions this week, Boston Bad Boy.
This is. I think this is going to be an intervention point for you and I, and in this show, and I want to get to something because we were just talking about the pay-per-view. You mentioned it a few times during the show, and in case we got to give a little background here. In case some people didn't watch the pay-per-view, I scanned through because I'm not paying Vince McMahon to watch the whole thing in full.
My goodness!
He can
you
pry the money.
pirated it, didn't
He can pry the money out of my cold dead hand.
Give me a break.
So here's what happens at this pay-per-view. Great Balls of Fire. Stupid name, by the way.
Greatest name. Ever. Great pay-per-view.
Roman Reigns crashed the back of an ambulance into a wall, and Braun Strowman is in the ambulance. All right. That's a classic gag.
Criminal.
That's a classic gag.
Criminal.
We've seen that before. There's been ambulances, limousines, crashes, front-end loaders.
Yeah, but this
it's par for the
this
course.
was a little different.
Well, as it turns out, it's entertainment like anything else. Like when was it Mankind at the time when he fell into the lighting and it short circuited the whole arena?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that wasn't that was just fireworks. Okay. What I'm getting at is this is all part of the show, right? You know that, right? This is all part of the show. The fans know that, right? Because a lot of things I've been seeing lead me to think that something's gone a little
What are you
askew
talking
here.
about, Boston Bad Boy?
Well, this stuff is a work, right? That's the lingo. That's the Carney lingo for this. It's a work. It's a setup. It's part of the show, not necessarily part of the physicality. It's part of the entertainment. It's preordained. It's the theater.
But some people go
Crashing.
too far.
Yes, some people who are fans, and I think I'm frightened that you may be one of them, don't understand. They don't have enough sense to know that it's a work. And what happens? They put together a petition on change.org. Change.org.
Sure.
The same place people put petitions to make sure there's no lead in the drinking water in Michigan.
That's right.
And to send the president a message. Or people have put together a petition on change.org based on a work. What the hell is this world coming to? Because, here's what it says. Here's what it says. The arrest of this change.org petition is for the arrest of Roman Reigns for attempted murder.
That's right.
Attempted murder. And it says less than an hour ago, written at the time, less than an hour ago at the WWE Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, Roman Reigns was a sore loser. He lost to Braun Strowman, then proceeded to spear him after the match, send him into the ambulance, pushed the driver out, drove it backstage, and drove it into the back of a trailer. Left the man, the injured victor, trapped in the ambulance for a solid 10-plus minutes. We need to have this happen. Ooh-ah.
Yep. What's your point?
All right. I don't know where to begin here. We might have to go all the way back to your childhood.
I saw that petition.
I know you did.
Yep.
I had a feeling you did because you fantasize that you have a nemesis and Roman Reigns is your nemesis.
It's not a fantasy.
Even though
He's
you've
my
never met the man.
No,
and you probably never will.
Trust me, he's my nemesis. Trust me.
Here's the problem. Lines are getting blurred here. People are having a real world reaction to a fantasy event.
I don't know what that means.
This is worse than I thought.
Tell you
this
something.
is worse than I thought.
Let me tell you
I'm worried about
this change.org petition, okay? 3,073 people signed it when I saw it. And you know what? Guess who 3,074 was?
Don't even say
okay?
it. Don't even say it. I'll put an end to this show right now.
Signed the petition.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I signed it.
Now, here's the problem with that. Doing this show, you have transitioned from not just being a fan to being essentially a media person who is reporting on the events in a dispassionate kind of way. And you're supposed to look at reason, and you're supposed to analyze, and you're supposed to comment. The fact that you're participating in a mass hysteria, in a mass illusion, is akin to what was going on in Salem when the witch trials happened.
No.
It's unreality.
No, let me explain something.
What are you talking about?
What Roman
It's a
Reigns
show.
did to Braun Strowman, it completely crossed the line, okay? We're talking about a criminal. He tried to hurt that man. I mean, he literally smashed the back of the ambulance when the man was in it.
You know what wrestling is, right?
Braun Strowman, thank God he walked out on his own 2 feet, because let me tell you something. That was some serious business there, okay? And I was very concerned about it. So I enthusiastically signed that petition, and
There's
I encourage
something wrong with you.
everybody, go over to the Duke Loves Rasslin Facebook page, sign the petition.
Let me just tell you something.
Join me in solidarity.
If any one of our listeners, if I find out that any one of our listeners,
there's plenty of
I
them.
expect someone like Dingo to sign that stupid
Of course
petition.
Dingo signed the petition.
If he probably signed it 3,000 times. It might be just you and him on it, which would make sense to me because it's so insane.
Give me a break.
That only a person like him
This
and
is
you
real,
would think this is okay.
serious, man.
Yeah, that's why it's insane.
This
it
is
makes
serious.
no sense.
Okay? You got a guy who takes the back of an ambulance and smashes it. He's trying to destroy another guy. Hey,
that's what
stay within the purview of a wrestling match. The match was over.
Stay
there
within
was no
the
reason for
purview
that.
of
No,
how
there
many
was
times,
no reason for it.
How many times
Okay?
is a wrestling
Criminal
match
act.
spilled out into the crowd,
This
into the
was
arena,
different.
into the backstage?
No.
Why is this different?
Because this was not scripted.
Do you know
this is
why
something
this
that
isn't
Roman
different?
Reigns did.
I'm going to tell you
Okay?
why this isn't different.
Why is it
if
different?
this was
It's
really
different.
not kayfabe, if this was really not part of the act, it wouldn't have been televised.
According
Are
to
you
who?
that dumb?
Things get
Are you that
televised all the
stupid?
time.
No, because it would have been. They would have cut off the show at their scheduled time. The cameras were there. What is wrong with
It's
you?
evidence.
I'm worried about you.
It's evidence.
I'm worried about you.
He's going down.
I'm going to talk to your mom.
Roman, you're
Here
going
we go.
down.
No, here we go.
Okay? You're going to the slammer, my man.
I'm
That's
worried
it.
about you.
That's it, Roman.
I'm worried. I really am.
sick of him.
I'm totally serious. I think you might have had a break with
Listen,
reality.
I'll testify. Because I witnessed it live. I watched. I'll testify.
The
Okay?
fact that you saw it
Okay.
means it was part of the
No,
act.
that means I'm a witness.
Oh.
And it's my duty, okay? It's my duty to follow through on this. Roman Reigns is going to the big time. He's going to the Slammer. That's it.
You
Okay.
might need to go to the funny farm. That's what
Sick
I
of
think.
you.
That's what I think.
Thank you.
You might really need to go to the funny farm. You and
Wildfire
Vince.
Tommy Rich for joining us today. Folks, you can head over to the Duke Loves Rasslin Facebook page and the Twitter. Let us know what you think. Okay, Big Bear, don't ever come back.
No, listen,
and let me tell you
Big Bear
something.
can come back
Roman Reigns,
anywhere, anytime he
enjoy
wants.
jail, okay?
Oh,
because
please.
you're going down.
By
the
the
Duke's
way,
going to make
what's
sure
the
of it.
legality of a petition
Okay?
for jail?
The Duke's
Because I
gonna
think
make
that
sure of it.
maybe the president would be in jail right now. if
Oh,
it was
give me
up
a
to
break.
that.
Don't suck.